Welcome to Foundation Friday. The dedication and covenant of silent unity was signed on December 7th, 1892 by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, founders of the Unity movement. It is unlikely when they signed this covenant that they had any idea how far-reaching unity would be as it evolved into the church we know and love today. We invite you to join us as we explore and share some of the original ideas, teachings, and writings of the men and women who created the foundation of the Unity Church.
Hi there. Thank you for joining us today for our Foundation Friday program. Today, we are going to delve into the Letters of Myrtle Fillmore. Many of you probably know Myrtle Fillmore was the co-founder of Unity, the Unity movement, with her husband, Charles Fillmore. And even though she never wrote an actual book per se, a lot of her writings, a lot of her letters to her congregants and her followers have been compiled into a book titled Letters of Myrtle Fillmore. And it was compiled and published in 1936. So, today, we are looking at a few letters she wrote on the topic of going into the silence. Enough of me. Let's enjoy Myrtle Fillmore's writings. Students should not try so hard to go into the silence. When your growth brings you to the place where your consciousness may be so completely merged with Christ ideas in God mind that you lose all sense of things about you, it is time to seek to go into the silence. But one should not try to hurry this experience. Anything that is an effort and disturbs the natural functioning of the body is not going to bring your mind into conscious at one moment with the source of your light and every good. It is because a person tries to force the process of going into the silence before he is ready for it that he has that unpleasant experience about which some ask of the heart's beating so rapidly and hard. This comes from trying to get the body to become inactive in an effort to go into the silence. Instead of stirring up greater activity, laying hold of more life and using it, you cause the body to become tense. So the heart must pump harder to take care of its work. When wisdom and love and life and power prompt your thoughts, you are living and moving and having your being in the very presence of God. And you know that all is well. Then you will be able to concentrate upon anything that requires your attention, and you will be quiet and poised and comfortable. With a relaxed body, you will lay hold of more life activity and come forth refreshed. When you start to go into the silence, you should breathe evenly in the happy feeling that you are taking in great draughts of God's pure, life sustaining air, which is being used by every cell and blood corpuscle. Take your attention down out of your head into the organism. The flow of blood will follow it. The attention down into the trunk of the body and into the feet and hands. And thus, forces of well being will flow through the bloodstream and be equalized. You should be just as fair to members of your body as you would be to a neighbor. You wouldn't expect to hold the neighbor's attention on one spot all day long. nor would you expect to demand of the neighbor that she do without something that she should have, nor would you burden her with more work than she should do. Now, you are to treat your own members, which are close neighbors in your body temple, with just as much consideration and wisdom and love, giving them the benefit of this quiet time with the divine creator. Okay, next letter on the same topic. A little period of quiet and rest each day is your opportunity to establish yourself at the center of your being, the one place where the supply of life and substance are inexhaustible. God is this eternal life that we take into living. Each day, you should have a regular period of stillness when the soul may gather sustaining power and restoring life. God gives freely. It is for us to keep the receiving channels open, to keep attuned to the realities so that this intellect of ours does not take us out among the limited ideas of the world. The manifest man must have the sustenance that can only come from within. We should not draw the strings of this instrument of spirit so tight that the music of the soul cannot find expression. But this is what living in the world without withdrawal to that secret place does to us. One can stay in the silence too much. It is merely the doorway opening onto that which is beyond the science. Activity based upon the light and strength gained in climbing it, accomplished by contacting it as the mind slips away from the clamor of dissipating thoughts. One can get too much of this good thing, just as one could get too much of a perfectly good and nourishing food, and then sit still, failing to convert it into living energy, the results of that energy. So, dear, watch what you do and do not remain too much alone, too much in the silence, too much in contemplation and adoration, and not enough in the practical use of what the walks and talks alone with God would give. The Indian goes solitary into the forest on rare and stated occasions to gain a certain sense of his own superior strength and poise. Then he comes back to familiar scenes and regular activities, and runs and leaps and rides and sings and plants and harvests and tells stories that inspire his race and ministers to those in need of the spirit of love. He takes plenty of time to play, and he works at nothing else while he is playing. So instead of spending too much time in the silence, begin to make real practical use of what you have already gotten from study and from the silence. It is possible to waste strength and energy and substance in dwelling in that passive mental state, sometimes called the silence, or in the personal effort to make certain thoughts go out and accomplish results that are not really based on the divine order and plan of life. So when you turn to the secret place for silence, be sure that you get away from yourself, your old ideas and desires, and bring your mind into perfect harmony with the Christ ideas. Work definitely to bring those ideas to bear upon your thought centers, and then come forth to practice what you have just seen with the spiritual vision and declared for yourself. The more you think about the Christ within, the stronger your consciousness of the divine presence and your oneness with him, until you can be still and know that I am God, until you can still at the outer thoughts and meditate upon Christ in you, the hope of glory. Many have been helped mightily, gloriously in finding the silence by repeating the holy name, Jesus Christ, time after time, with short intervals in between. Okay, and now the next letter. When you go into the silence, it would be well for you to direct your attention down into your organism, away from your head. The flow of blood will follow the attention, and thus the forces of your being and the flow of the blood stream will be equalized. You owe God attention, and you owe him the full measure of your faith, of your thought, of your service. He abides in your mind as the wisdom that will reveal the way to you if you will quiet your thoughts from ceaseless outer searching for ways and means. He not only gives you wisdom, he is the wisdom and can direct you into paths of peace and plenty. You cannot listen to him while your ear is given to your affairs. You can gain nothing by incessantly milling around in negative thought. You can gain all by quietly letting go of those outer appearances and laying hold of God. You love Jesus Christ, and he is now with you, guiding you and teaching you, bringing you consciously into oneness with the Father. His prayer was that they may be one, even as they are one. John 17:11. His mission is to bring us into unity with the Father. His promise is, lo, I am with you always. From Matthew 28:20. He taught us to pray this way. When thou prayest, enter into thine inner chamber, and having shut thy door, pray to thy Father who is in secret. The inner chamber is that quiet place within the heart. We are taught to center our thoughts within, then to shut the door, that is, to close our mind to all other thinking and think about God and his goodness and wonderful love. To pray to God in secret, in the secret place of the Most High, and all things needful will be added. Speak to him, thou, for he hears, and spirit with spirit can meet. Closer is he than breathing, and nearer than hands and feet. That is what the poet says to help us to remember how close and loving God is. Speak to God in the quiet of your heart, just as you would speak to me. Tell the Father how much you desire to know him and feel his loving presence, and how glad you are to receive his blessings and to do his will. Then be very still and just feel God's love enfold you. Okay, that was a few readings from Myrtle Fillmore's letters on Into the Silence. We hope that you enjoyed them. And as always, if there's someone you know who would benefit from this video or any of our videos, please feel free to share them. Before we go, please know you matter. You are sacred, and you are so, so very loved. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.